90 minutes of news, reviews and interviews served with the extra touch of fine details. Tonight, the Federal Executive Council approves the Energy Transition Plan. Target is net zero emission by 2050. In agriculture, the pyramids made an impressive entry into Abuja. The egress is a tale of sweat and toil. A human face to the nation's humanitarian efforts as Committee on Resettlement settles down to business. And in Port Harcourt, illegal oil refineries have come under the hammer of law enforcement. It seems there is a great relief in that area of the Niger Delta. There is a special on the automotive industry, an issue still putting a handbrake on its expected boom. Tonight is World Read Aloud Day. So sit back as we read aloud to you. After all, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Omar Buba and this is News Extra. I welcome you. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on YouTube channel, NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page, NTA Network News, and our Twitter handle at NTA News Now, and Instagram, NTA Network, for updates. And we begin with the Federal Executive Council has approved an energy transition plan for Nigeria. It is aimed at achieving net zero carbon emission in the country by the year 2050. Minister of State for Environment Sharon Ikeazo announced this while briefing journalists after the meeting of the council presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari. State House correspondent Adam Sampo reports on this and efforts at enhancing the delivery of critical infrastructure projects.
Without doubt, the global race towards decarbonization is underway. After decades of incremental but insufficient progress, public and private action on climate change is now reaching a tipping point. Nigeria's commitment to net zero was first made public by President Muhammadu Buhari in November last year while addressing COP26 in Glasgow, Scotland. The Minister of State for Environment says the approval of the Energy Transition Plan by the Federal Executive Council is critical if the country is to drive maximum benefits from the net zero ambition across all sectors of the economy.
This memo clearly set out the pathway for Nigeria in achieving this.
Waste battery management policy has also been approved for Nigeria.
This policy on waste management will create a lot of jobs in the circular economy for Nigeria and at the same time protect the health of Nigerians to make sure that hazardous waste like waste batteries are properly disposed of with regulations and including recycling in Nigeria.
And in furtherance of efforts at addressing the nation's critical infrastructure deficit, 115.4 billion naira was approved for the dualization of 131.4-kilometer Kano, Kazaure and Kongolam highway.
The instructive thing is that the financing will be done by the tax credit scheme of BUA International Limited, and they will use Mrs. PW Construction Nigeria Limited, a company in which they have acquired some interest to undertake the construction.
Transportation Minister Rotimi Amechi also secured over $315 million approval for consultancy services in respect of the various railway projects in parts of the country. These include Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, Kano, Maradi and Abuja Warri rail lines.
We've gone to Standard Chartered Bank. They've approved some level of funding for Kano, Maradi. We are also pursuing Port Harcourt, Maiduguri with Standard Chartered Bank. These two, essentially, the Lagos, Kano, part of it will come from Standard Chartered Bank and part of it will come from some commercial banks or some banks in China.
Contract has also been approved for the construction of new corporate headquarters of the National Health Insurance Scheme.
Of course, the need has become inevitable to expand what is on ground to improve the operational efficiency of that agency.
In the meantime, the Federal Executive Council has approved a concession agreement between the federal government and a private firm for the management of Onitsha River Port in Anambra State for a period of 30 years. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari will on Thursday embark on a 4-day trip to the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa, for the 35th ordinary session of Assembly of the African Union Heads of State and Government. In a statement, President Buhari will join other African leaders in finding solutions to political, economic and social challenges facing the continent, guided by the theme, Building Resilience in Nutrition and Food Security on the African Continent, Strengthen Agriculture, accelerate the human capital, social and economic development. On the sideline of the AU meetings, President Buhari will hold bilateral talks with some leaders with shared interest in improving trade relations, partnering to tackling security challenges and maintain relations with multilateral institutions for sustainable development. The president will be accompanied by some ministers and top government functionaries. In other news, President Buhari is assuring Nigerians in the northeast of massive turnaround in their respective communities from the protracted insurgency to peace, stability and sustainable development in the coming months. This was while inaugurating the Presidential Committee on the Repatriation, Return and Resettlement of Internally Displaced Persons in that geopolitical zone of the country. State House correspondent Adam Sambo reports.
15. I pledge to Nigerians that I will restore peace in the Northeast and return it to the path of development and growth. I remain committed to this promise.
The inauguration of the high-powered committee followed the increasing gains recorded in the battle against terrorism and insurgency through the combination of both kinetic and non-kinetic methods. Already, tens of thousands of internally displaced persons have returned to their ancestral homes and formally resettled.
Going forward, we aim to take more action-oriented and outcome-driven implementation approach that will lead to visible and sustainable results.
The committee is to, amongst others, develop a 3-year plan of action that will provide a clear pathway for the restoration of peace and development, give dignity to the affected population, ensure coordinated peace building and reconciliation programs, as well as implement a phased plan for the return and resettlement of IDPs and restoration of livelihoods.
Let every member of this committee know and understand that there is an enormous task ahead of us. On this momentous occasion, history beckons and Nigerians call on you to be the team that will finally chart this new path to restoration of sustainable peace and progress in the Northeast. And I strongly believe this could lead to the bringing of a template for addressing insurgency and instability in other parts of our country and across the world. Failure to deliver on this task you have been assigned is not an option.
The Presidential Committee comprised the Ministers of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Justice, Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Interior, Defense and Foreign Affairs, as well as the National Security Advisor. Also in the committee are the Chief of Defense Staff, Inspector General of Police, Directors General, Department of State Services, National Intelligence Agency, Northeast Development Commission, and the National Emergency Management Agency. Other members include the Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, and the Chief of Defense Intelligence.
The entire Northeastern State Government will give maximum support to this committee. We will provide the necessary support to the federal government under the distinguished leadership of Mr. President. We shall provide all support to the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and others and the military to ensure that this process yielded the desired result.
The Presidential Committee members charged by the President to adopt, amongst other guiding principles, greater accountability, delineation of duty, and community-driven methods in addressing issues at hand are also expected to submit a monthly progress report. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
In the meantime, Senate has urged security agencies to ensure that rescue of the 38 persons kidnapped by gunmen in Ruang Ogodia, Katsina State. This followed a motion by Senator Bello Mandia at Wednesday plenary. John Iyako has the details.
And explained that despite government's efforts in curbing insecurity in the country, these crimes have persisted. Senate urged federal government to deploy security personnel and fighter jets to apprehend the bandits and restore normalcy in the affected communities.
If this menace is not drastically promptly addressed, the consequence is going to be huge on food sufficiency, since the affected communities are mostly farmers.
When we declared the bandits as terrorists, my understanding was that they are going to be dealt with ruthlessly now. I wonder whether that is the case.
It's not.
The military, like some of our colleagues have said, need to wake up.
Also at plenary, the bill for an act to establish the National Social Security Commission and that for the establishment of a National Veterinary Research Institute Gombe passed second reading and were referred to the relevant committees.
The security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government.
This proposal oriented from the need to establish an institutional framework to support the only veterinary research institute in Bomb, Plateau State.
7 nominees for appointment as National Commissioners and Electoral Commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, were confirmed by the Senate after considering the report submitted by the Senate Committee on INEC.
Nigeria is expecting a lot from them, and they will have a baptism of fire, because 2023 is just by the corner. In fact, the process has already started.
Meanwhile, Senate has received a presidential request for the confirmation of nominees as Executive Director, Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, as well as Executive Director, Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, and others. From the National Assembly, John Yaku, NTA News.
The alleged lopsided recruitment into management cadre positions in the Nigeria Social Investment Trust Fund (NSITF) has caused the House of Representatives to launch an investigation. The House says such practice negates the principle of the federal character. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Representative Ismail Tijani raised the issue, in which he said information have it that the recruitment in NSITF and other agencies under the Ministry of Labour and Employment are fraught with irregularities. House members called for investigation.
Only people from one particular part of the country are being recruited in the current exercise.
For the allegations that are on the table, you find fresh graduates having positions of managers, including the minister's son. That's what it is captured.
The committee should also investigate all MDAs where recruitment or replacement exercises are currently going on.
Relevant committees were mandated to investigate and recommend appropriate sanctions on anyone found wanting. The Constitution Amendment Bill seeking expansion of Code of Conduct of Public Officers, sponsored by Representative Shehu Kakali, passed second reading.
To enable public officers undertake agriculture as well as health production and services as a proposition which will allow more persons engaged in agricultural production and to curtail the risk of food insufficiency and health insufficiency in the country.
Also passed for second reading is the bill to establish Institute of Arid and Climate Studies in Mafa, Borno State, sponsored by Ibrahim Mohammed Bukar, to address impact of climate change in Nigeria, and the bill from Representative Al-Mustafa Aliu seeking the establishment of Federal College of Land Resources, Raba, in Sokoto State.
Offer to the general population a form of public service, the result of training and research in land resources technology and allied disciplines, and foster the practical application of those results.
The bill seeking amendments to Bank Employees Act, which proposed 20-year jail term for bank staff engaged in fraud, sponsored by Ejiro Guinea-Bissau, received wide support.
It is to increase the punishment for bank staff who are involved in fraudulent activities in customers' accounts.
Where we discovered that a lot of bank officials are involved in fraudulent activities.
Bank officials suffocate and frustrate their customers for no reason, because there is no legal framework that brings those officials to order.
The bank itself should be liable to the point of putting back the victim in the state where he was prior to that fraud.
It passed second reading, including the bill to amend Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act, sponsored by Abubakar Fulata. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Now, for those who misconstrue President Buhari when he said he will take 100 million people out of poverty, Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Raji Fashola says should follow him to understand the statement better. This was when he embarked on road inspection and interaction with the people of northwest Nigeria. Abdullahi Mohammed has that.
Burrowing through the harsh weather with a quorum of specialists, the minister's fleet stepped on the throttle. In proving a point, the big and atom-sized picture the progress made on the construction of the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano highway must be laid bare. And so, every mile on the highway matters with the eye of the emissary and the public in every stop.
137 kilometers.
Each kilometer, a revelation of the uniqueness of the method being used to build the highway. First, the component of the old is recycled, and the refined materials are then laid back to form the new.
We are planning to start rolling out way bridges, but
on arrival in Kano, Katsina-Kano Highway, a product of Sukuk, was subjected to the test tube. The stability of the camera shoot from one of the vehicle in motion gives you an idea of its integrity. But most importantly, this is the road by which the biggest grains market in Africa lies. You may begin to wonder how much cheaper it will be for farmers and traders to move their grains to this market as a result of building these highways from a single lane years back. These are the little drops of payback by the Buhari-led administration to the chain of activities which slowly but surely pull out millions of Nigerians from penury.
if I talk of what I earned for just these 30 days, nobody will believe.
But where else would the emissary of the president tell this story than a gathering of youths from across the northwest Nigeria?
When we were coming in 2015, what did we promise Nigerians? It is happening now. A 3-hour journey is now 30 minutes.
Traveling back, the difficult task of managing construction with commuters in some point is prevalent.
Vacate the right of way so that the contractors can work more efficiently.
Just by the Kaduna-Zaria highway, another completed housing project waiting for occupants. This, for the minister, is another giant stride with a wave of benefits that touches lives. In Abuja, Abdullahi Mohammed, NTA News.
Let's head to Oka now. The need for youths to embrace skills acquisition took center stage during the distribution of starter packs for skills graduates in Anambra State, courtesy of Department of Skills in Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment. Talking of teaching someone to fish so he or she could eat for a lifetime. Chinyere Fesi reports that the minister, Chris Ngige, was in attendance.
From glory to glory, strength to strength, grace to grace is usually the prayer of everyone, especially at the beginning of a new year, capped with the saying, New Year, New Beginning.
Establish a bigger farm with this, and we'll make more money.
To the 69 beneficiaries of the second phase of Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment Empowerment Program in Anambra State, out of the 3,000 people targeted in the next 1 year, new chapter of progress has been opened in their lives.
I'm a machinist. So, as this genset, I use it when there is no power.
Aimed at creating further employment for the masses, in view of scarcity of white-collar jobs, the 50 million naira worth of empowerment items include power generating sets, industrial grinders, water pumping machine, plus more, with the beneficiaries of this phase drawn from 4 local government areas.
This one is what we call all-purpose empowerment for people who want to be farmers or people who are farming and who want to enhance their farming.
Third phase of the program is expected to take place in April. In Oka, Chinyere Fesi Okoye, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has spoken with his Guinea-Bissau counterpart, President Umaru Sissoco Embalo, shortly after surviving a military coup attempt. A statement by the president's senior special assistant on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, says President Buhari congratulated Embalo on surviving the coup attempt and commended the loyal troops in Guinea-Bissau for the show of patriotism leading to their spectacular victory over the disloyal elements of the military. The president condemned the attempt to subvert the established constitutional order in Guinea-Bissau and extended the goodwill and support of the government and people of Nigeria to the Guinea-Bissauans and the Embalo administration. President Embalo assured President Buhari that the situation had been brought under control and normalcy has returned. Meanwhile, normality has returned to Guinea-Bissau after a failed coup attempt where President Umaru Sissoco Embalo just survived and confirmed that many members of the security forces paid the supreme price, repelling an attack on democracy. The question is, who could be behind an attack in Guinea-Bissau and what are the implications of recent coups on the continent? Justin Bemuyi gives highlights of developments in that country.
President Embalo was in the government palace along with Prime Minister Nuno Nabiam when it was surrounded and attacked by heavily armed men on Tuesday afternoon. Although President Embalo has said the situation had been brought under control and that some of the people involved had been killed and arrested but did not give numbers. He described the coup attempt as an attack against democracy, saying it was well prepared and organized. It is not yet clear who could be behind the attack, but some witnesses described the gunmen as members of the military. Others said they were civilians. The chief of the armed forces said members of the military had been plotting a coup while the president was on a working trip to Brazil. The former Portuguese colony is a coastal state of around 2 million people lying south of Senegal. Guinea-Bissau has suffered 4 military coups and more than a dozen attempted military takeovers since its independence from Portugal in 1974. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
Thank you, Justin. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on YouTube channel, NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page, NTA Network News, Twitter at NTA News Now, and on Instagram, NTA Network, for updates. Compendium of the activities of the First Lady unveiled as correspondent investigates mismanagement of sewage system described as epidemic in the pipeline.
This isn't a fight, alright? It's more like a battle. So you gotta come through from the jump. Show them you have too much heart to get bypassed. Cause you and I both know nobody's playing in these streets. See, if you hold back, you lose. If you get cold feet, you freeze. That leaves only one way to go, really. And that's hard. So show up, show out, show yourself. Battle for your dream. search for Nigeria's most creative dance talents.
At the heart of your waking up and going out is your desire to succeed. This keeps you awake, running through your mind, even when bathing. At Bedmate, we understand and remain your partners in providing you durable furniture that helps you work better and introduces you as a person of good taste. That's why from 13 January to 20 February 2022, you can own items in a Sophia Office series at incredible discounts of 20% off with amazing gifts due. Hurry now to our showrooms to enjoy this limited offer like many others needing high-performance work tools to success.
Ajaye go gym. You won't go shake your body. Instead they make it calm down. Eat the farm say you sabi. You want to grow 6 packs in a day. I beg you not to pass your power. You want to show yourself, oh.
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hey you, 100 million naira up for grabs with your favorite Indomie noodles in the all-new I Love My Indomie promo. Grab an I Love My Indomie promo pack. Look inside the pack for a unique letter and collect all 14 letters, including the special heart, to form I Love My Indomie. Send a picture of your collection to our WhatsApp number to redeem your instant cash prize of 100,000 naira. So hurry and grab your favorite Indomie noodles now. Offer valid in selected cities only till March 31st, 2022. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, will officially launch the revised National Policy on Population for Sustainable Development, NPP, and inaugurate the National Council on Population Management, NCPM, on Thursday, 3rd February 2022, at the Council Chambers of the State House. The main thrust of the policy is to reduce the population growth rate and accelerate demographic transition for the realization of the demographic dividend. It is a strategic tool guiding the implementation of national development plans. Principal officers of the National Assembly, ministers and heads of MDAs, prominent traditional rulers, ambassadors, captains of industry, and representatives of development agencies are expected to grace the event. Honorable Nasir Issa Kwara, Chairman, Announcer.
I dey look for pension fund administrator. We soft, make sense, we care for me. Shy. No be the time when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. Oh no, 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 no. The brand is sure them no go stress you. Call them then they accessible. Yes, customer care where they on point. You no go regret when you try, of course. Profitable investment, everything is just a blend. If you don't want it good for you, guy make you choose premium pension today. Make that switch to premium pension. Premium pension. Make that switch to premium pension.
Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
Great to have you back on News Extra. First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Buhari, has expressed delight for the support she has been receiving from the Nigerian governors' wives in an effort towards improving lots of women, youths and children. The First Lady stated this in a message during the presentation of a document tagged Compendium of the Activities of the First Lady and Wives of Governors in Nigeria 2015 to date. State House correspondent Aloud reports that the compendium also captured the developmental activities of the wife of the Vice President, Dolapo Oshimbajo.
Of the President administration in 2015, the First Lady of Nigeria under the Aisha Buhari Foundation and Future Assured Program, in collaboration with the Nigerian governors' wives under their various pet projects, have been engaging in various developmental programs for complementing government effort towards improving the lives of Nigerians at all levels of government. Areas of focus include education, especially of a girl child, healthcare service such as maternal health, economic empowerment of women and youth, and many other gender strides geared towards promoting lots of women, youth, and children. The programs are carefully documented as a compendium in a 229-page book by the National Center for Women Development to serve as a reference and to inspire future first ladies and wives of governors in order to complement government effort towards the empowerment of Nigerian women and children.
The purpose is to ensure that the developmental strides of the First Lady and the wives of governors are adequately captured and documented. This demonstrates our collective response to democracy and commitment to leadership. The achievements of the Nigerian First Ladies since 2015 have been tremendous. Their projects cannot be adequately covered in one slide to depict our strides.
The wives of the governors and other stakeholders reaffirmed their commitment towards supporting any developmental programs targeted at women, youth, and children.
The role of a First Lady has the potential to be a powerful platform for influencing change and advancing governance and development goals.
According to the First Lady,
the publication, which was reviewed by Professor Patricia Donnelly of the University of Maiduguri, also recommended for academic purposes. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Thank you, Aliu. And talking more on the compendium, we have joining me in the studio the Director General, National Center for Women Development. We have Dr. Asabe Velita Bashir right here. Good to have you on News Extra.
Thank you very much.
So we've seen the report, we've seen the compendium, and you know, it has been launched. Now the question is, what is the state of the girl child and women given the efforts of the First Lady and the governor's wives?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening, viewers. The state of the girl and the women in general, according to, looking at the book that we have just launched, and the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our mother, Dr. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, and the wife of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mrs. Dola Pausimbanjo, and the wives of the governors at the state levels are doing great jobs at their various levels to enhance the development of the girl and the women in general. That is why, as a center which is saddled with the responsibility of research, documentation, and training of the girl and women in general, we thought it wise to document their good efforts in trying to develop the girl child. Right from the onset, since they were sworn into offices, the efforts of the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, and other First Ladies at the state levels have been doing a good job, and you can see through their pet projects. And these their pet projects, if you look at it, are all surrounding the girl and the girl child and the women. They are towards the development of the girl child and the women. If you look at the future assured pet project of Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it revolves around how to develop the girl child educationally, health-wise, everything up to the time that the girl will be matured enough to take care of herself. And likewise, the state governors, all their pet projects revolve around what will develop the girl child into womanhood.
Okay.
And that is why the center have decided to document these activities so that our women will have a reference point, will come to the will serve as inspiration to other First Ladies that will come behind them, and also to our girl child, that it will inspire the girl child to aspire to greater heights, looking at how our leaders, in form of the governor's wives, their achievements will inspire them to achieve greater heights.
Okay, you personally, we heard that you packaged and you compiled this, you made the compilation. So what do you hope to achieve by the compilation, personally?
Yes, our intention as a center is, one, as a center, we have the mandate of documentation and research, and this is part of it. When you compile activities of these our great women leaders at various levels, both state and the federal, we have a documentation, a document where it will serve as a reference point to our women, and it will serve as a reference point to our researchers, and it will be a document for posterity, for posterity, that even after they leave office, they can look back and say, yes, during our time we did something, and they'll be proud of it. And it will inspire our women leaders, our women who are in decision making, our other women leaders who are in decision making tables.
All right, so
yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sabibility Bashir, for coming on, new secretary, to talk to us about the compendium.
Thank you so much.
So I will wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers.
All right. And we're heading to Kano, where a magistrate court sitting in Kano has adjourned the case hearing of Abdul Malik Tanko and his accomplices accused of kidnap and murder of Hanifa Abubakar to the 9th of February 2022. Yahanasu Hassan reports that the defendants will be remanded at a correctional facility in Kano.
Magistrate Mohammed Jibril said the court acts on the first information report containing the 4-count charges of criminal conspiracy, kidnap, confinement, and culpable homicide. As capital offences that are beyond the jurisdiction of the court, it therefore adjourned the case till the 9th of February 2022 to allow for closure of the first information report and transfer of the case to a court of competent jurisdiction for further hearing.
Court adjourned the case to 9th February for further mention, and on that date we hope to come back and terminate the FIR that is before the court, because by then the court must have been mentioned at the High Court, yes, where the offences will be tried.
The magistrate has remanded Abdul Malik and his accomplices, Hashim Isiaku and Fatima Jibril, at a correctional facility. In Kano, Yahanasu Hassan, NTA.
Kaduna State is to host what is described as the Africa's largest maize pyramids that will be made up of thousands of bags of the produce. This is coming as the evaluation of rice used in building pyramids in Abuja is in progress. Let's join Musa Ali for details.
It took about 50 laborers 2 months to build these rice pyramids in Abuja. 2 weeks after the inauguration of the pyramids, the evacuation of the rice paddy is still in progress. The process of evacuation of the rice is not as easy as when the rice was brought in. The truck that will evacuate the rice paddy have to go through a process of weighing before and after loading of the produce.
Allocation was given to various millers across the country by the Central Bank of Nigeria. So each miller was given a certain quantity of paddy.
As the rice pyramids here are being leveled to the ground, another pyramids are being erected in Kaduna. And that will be for maize. Thousands of maize bags will be used to form the pyramids here in Ungwansarki in Kaduna North. The initiative is part of the Anchor Borrowers program of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
We want to do this pyramid in order to showcase the success and the achievement of the Anchor Borrower program and to acknowledge what Mr. President has done to maize farmers in Nigeria.
Maize establishment pyramid in Kaduna State will go a long way in convincing everybody that the CBN program and the associations are down to earth in ensuring that Nigeria achieves self-sufficiency in food production.
The produce will be brought in across maize producing states as part of the loan recovery program of the Central Bank of Nigeria. This will be the second pyramid the Maize Association will be putting up under the Anchor Borrowers program.
Before coming of this administration of President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015, it was only 8 million tons of maize that is being produced in Nigeria. But by the end of 2020-21, the maize production was 20 million tons in Nigeria.
At the end of it all, Maize Association and the CBN will release the produce to processors and producers of animal feeds. The aim is to crash the price of maize and its byproducts nationwide. From Kaduna, Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
And in Port Harcourt, the Dama community in Akukutoru local government area of Rivers State now has cause to rejoice following the inauguration of a joint venture water project by Belema Oil and NNPC to meet the needs of the locals. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
Social amenities are very critical to engendering development, especially in rural communities, given their importance. To the inhabitants of Edama, Ekulama community, the provision of these water and power projects would translate to enhanced quality of life.
Life as we know it is best enjoyed when this substance prohibits. But it's life I wish to have if there is no means to live it. We thank Belema Oil a great deal for giving us what means life to us.
Some dry season like this, sometimes we are not seeing water, the water will dry and all the rest. But now with this water, we can freely have water and everything.
This 300,000 capacity water project and the 1,200 kVA electricity generator power project are corporate social responsibility interventions by NNPC Belema Oil joint venture for the host community.
The traditional essence of capitalist is to be a capitalist. It's not interested in social intervention because we want to make a lot of profit. It does not care, but we care. Be patient with us. We created a lot of employment, but again, a lot of time is so shameful that our lines have been attacked. Our wellheads have been attacked. Our delivery lines have been attacked. If we get attacked, how can we have that strength to continue to support you? You want more employment? Fine. How can we address that?
In NNPC, our vision for social intervention is to continue to operate in an ethical and sustainable manner and deal with the environment and social impact occasioned by our activities.
A representative of former President Goodluck Jonathan, Godness Igali, inaugurated the project.
This is a great model for all other companies that are operating in these communities that are impacted to continue to show more footprint in terms of their impact on the local communities.
Belema Oil is an indigenous company whose corporate social responsibility gives priority not only to the provision of social amenities but also ensuring the human capital development of its host communities. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
In another development, construction work on the multi-billion-naira Muhammadu Buhari Industrial Park in Gombe State has commenced. Emmanuel Akilo reports that the project, which is the first of its kind in the Northeast, is designed to accommodate large industries, medium and small-scale enterprises.
Initial structures in the first phase are the gatehouse, perimeter fence, and foundation of the administration building. Construction of roads, which would traverse all segments of the park, are also ongoing.
For the other aspect of the gate, the fence house, you can see we have covered more than a kilometer. If you calculate what they have 500 kilometers on the left and 500 meters on the right, you have almost kilometers. So you are taking almost 40% of the front perimeter. Generally, I will rate it to about 35 to 40%.
The Muhammadu Buhari Industrial Park is sited on 1,000 hectares of land. With the first phase, which covers 340 hectares, now started, the dream of the youths who have been yearning for the commencement of the project is now a reality.
The
benefits of the project is better imagined than told. This project is God's gift to our community.
For now, I think it's expected that it will create job opportunity of not less than 30,000 people, direct job. And it's expected that we'll have at least not less than 100 industries. Large-scale industries, maybe like 40, 50, that is for the first one.
With most of the materials for the project already on ground and water from the boreholes on site, the project engineer gave assurance of completing the first phase within the 1-year agreed period. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
There is no doubt that the city of Abuja has an enduring sewage waste management system which will stand the test of time. Despite this, many estate developers find it easier to connect sewage waste pipes to canals than the designated system, a practice described as an epidemic in the making. Abdullahi Mohammed investigates.
Typical canal, a breeder, key channel for easing out domestic and surplus rainwaters in the capital city. Crystal clear it waters, hiding a sinister act only those by its banks can sniff.
When evening time come, you will see the odor is coming out from this place, which you will be asking, wow, is something that spoiled on this place? Is anything die?
Running pipes from gigantic estates into the canals becoming a numb, with the unwitting utilizing its waters. This is sewage waters let loose, and the consequences far-reaching.
We are saying to people, don't defecate in the open. Where people are gathering 6,000 people in an estate and asking them to do what I will call bulk defecation. Go and we'll deposit it in the running river. It is wrong. So we're beginning to talk to people, but we need the government to really push.
A dysfunctional sewage treatment plant tells the ugly tales of how millions of gallons of sewage liquid from the estates flows into the canal, which empties its waves into streams across the city. Wastewaters from canals across the city without any doubt flow into streams like this one, streams that also flow into rivers across the country, and those rivers provide sustenance for millions of people. A stone throw from the city is Malam Yusuf, digging sand by the river in the scorching sun. When nature calls for a gulp of water, he dips his cup into the same river to drink. River that could have its source from one of the sewage liquid-infested canals. But the irony is that not only Malam Yusuf suffers, but the polluters who are also on the hangman's loose.
It flows back to you.
Just as we were all eyes on the washing spree by the stream, a fisherman shows up with his net. Surprisingly, he said this is where he makes a living. The catch is meager, unlike the peak of the rainy season. In the mix of what appears difficult for estate managers, regulators say stopping the ugly act is a simple task.
For estates, we first of all recommend that you have internal reticulation of your sewer system.
As we speak today, the legislation is weak, so we are calling on the National Assembly to expedite action on repealing and having a national public health law.
Releasing sewage waters into canals could be a shortcut to those who hold the practice high. But this, for Malam Yusuf, the dips and licks, the flowing stream must stay pollution-free. In Abuja, Abdullahi Mohammed, NTA News.
You can say that again, Abdullahi. That illegal refining of crude oil, popularly known as fire, has had its toll on the health of Rivers State residents, with the attendant effects of salt for more than half a decade is certainly not news. What is news now is that the political will to put perpetrators out of business is soliciting hope and confidence in the government at the federal and state levels. Kingsley Amajiri tells us all about it.
Down on activities of illegal oil refiners in Rivers State followed concern over the suit in Port Harcourt, which is traceable to increasing activities of illegal oil bunkering and refineries.
Why the state government intensifies its fight against illegal oil bunkering and refining activities in Rivers State, the atmosphere is becoming clearer. How has that also impacted on the quality of the air people breathe in the city?
It is reducing. It is not completely over yet. It's reducing as a result of this fight by the government. I want to say that even though that our brothers that are into this business are affected, but they should remember that their life too is at stake here.
I would say our quality of air has improved, and the ecological disaster is something else, but we should also think of it. These boys that are doing this thing, they have the technical know-how to do this thing. Our refineries are not working. Why don't you exploit that area and bring modular refineries for them to be operating on?
To help disengage those currently involved in illegal oil refining of petroleum products and rechannel their energies to legal venture, the federal government is projecting to establish 18 modular refineries.
We have some illegal refinery activities that has also led to environmental pollution in terms of soot, which we are all experiencing here in Rivers State. So I think that this modular refinery is a way to go in order to curb those practices.
Participants to be engaged in the modular refineries are expected to be trained and their activities regulated to conform with industrial best standards.
The best thing to do, you bring those that are well trained, train some of these boys. They can fit in. There are a lot of things people can do. Go to the refinery today. It's not everybody that went to the university at the refinery. There are a lot of things people can do that can help in the system.
Some experts in the industry want private entrepreneurs to be incorporated with the process liberalized to open up investments in the midstream and downstream sector of the petroleum industry. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
You can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on YouTube channel, NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page, NTA Network News, and Twitter at NTA News Now, Instagram, NTA Network, for updates. As efforts are underway to redefine automobile industry in Nigeria to create more employments, resources are being lost to fire. Fruit farmers counting their losses. These and more when News Extra returns.
The more you learn, the more you grow. With MTN's reliable internet and YouTube learning videos, there's no limit to what you can learn or how far you can grow. Get up to 3 hours of free streaming on YouTube when you buy data plans from MTN. Dial *131*750# or download my MTN app to buy your preferred YouTube data plans.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Toothpaste, Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Why are we changing our toothpaste?
Because with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, I can be sure your teeth are cavity free.
When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavity. Colgate is the world's most chosen toothpaste.
Colgate locks calcium in,
keeps cavities out.
Introducing an all-time mega offer. Get over 50% discount in the Airtel Home Broadband mega offer. Buy a router for just 10,000 naira and get up to 240 gigabyte or a MiFi for 5,000 naira and get up to 125 gigabyte bonus data. More data, more you. Reliable home broadband bar.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
We don't like to eat better, more nutritious meals, more veggies, but we want it tasty and easy too. No cubes, that's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic, and enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you and more delicious too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
Big day ahead.
Yummy, yummy, full of nourishment and vitality. Bodies and shop my soya. Ovaltine.
New 3-in-1. Smart choice for smart kids.
Does your toothpaste give you complete fresh protection? New Close-Up Toothpaste Complete Fresh Protection takes care of your 5 important oral care needs. It gives you strong teeth, prevents tooth holes, cleans deeply, fights bacteria, and gives you fresh breath. Complete fresh protection from Close-Up.
Not all washing powders are the same. Sunlight adds bursts of freshness to cleaning power to give you Sunlight 2-in-1 for sensational cleaning and freshness that lasts. Sunlight 2-in-1 sensational cleaning with burst after burst of freshness. Introducing Sunlight with luxurious oud fragrance.
There is no doubt about it. Trees and other plants are so admirable, and they produce productive farmlands and water. Imagine this colossal damage. No lands, legs are gone, houses washed away. Migration is imminent. All this as a result of desertification. We must fight desertification by planting more and more trees to save our lands and restore the glory of our agriculture. These will ensure a sustainable food sufficiency, adequate flow of water, and peace of mind. This message is from the National Agency for Great Green Wall.
Welcome back. OPEC Plus agrees on March output rise amid oil price rally as investors lose 97.29 billion naira in the equities market. Musa Abakar has details on business news. Musa.
Thank you, Fatima. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and non-OPEC partners have decided to go ahead with the return of 400,000 barrels per day for March 2022, following the conclusion of the 25th OPEC and non-OPEC ministerial meeting held via video conference on Wednesday, 2nd February 2022, and in view of current oil market fundamentals and the consensus on the outlook led by Saudi Arabia and non-OPEC leader Russia, the Energy Alliance is in the process of unwinding record supply cuts of around 10 million barrels per day. Reuters reports that the move, widely expected by energy analysts, marks a continuation of the group's strategy to gradually reopen the taps. Crude prices on Wednesday trade near record levels amid geopolitical tensions. Brent crude futures traded at $90.29 a barrel on Wednesday afternoon in London, around 1.3% higher for the session and hovering slightly below the 7-year high of $91.70 reached last week. U.S. West Texas Intermediate futures, meanwhile, stood at $89.60, up around 1.6%. And now to capital market. The Nigerian equities market depreciated in midweek trade this Wednesday in its first day of loss this week. The NGX all-share index lost 0.38% to close at 46,930.66 basis point. Market capitalization depreciated to 25.2 trillion naira as 434.9 million shares exchanged hands valued at 6.2 billion naira in 5,878 deals. Fidelity Bank, Transcorp and Cotville dominated the activity chart. Well, that's business news. Fatima.
It's over to me, right? Okay, to other news. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) has approved the resumption of Emirates flights to Nigeria following the review and acceptance of the safety decision reached between the United Arab Emirates (UAE) and Nigeria. A statement by the NCAA Director General, Captain Musa Nuhu, indicates that Air Peace and Emirates Airlines are at liberty to resume scheduled passenger flights between Nigeria and UAE under the terms and conditions of the Bilateral Air Services Agreement (BASA). The reinstallment clearance agreed that all parties must ensure strict compliance with the COVID-19 travel protocols of both countries. There is a renewed effort to redefine the automobile industry in Nigeria. As a way of achieving impactful results, stakeholders are calling for the adoption of more local content to create jobs, as the present state of assembling plants is negatively affecting the fabrication and design subsector. Michael Olale has that.
Nigeria seems to have been turned into a graveyard for foreign used cars. This because the performance at the automobile sector is slow, leading to reliance on imports to meet local demands owing to insufficient domestic vehicle production. This was not the case in the 1970s, when the nation can boast of 6 active automobile plants with capacity to meet the transportation needs of the people. Although the National Automotive Design and Development Council says at present there are 31 licensed manufacturers of vehicles with capacity to produce 205,000 automobiles, just a few are working because of funding challenge. Abiodun Oshokoya belongs to the maintenance and repair subsector of the industry. He shares his experience on how the private sector is supporting and promoting indigenous skills based on the prospect of the huge market yet untapped.
There are opportunities where we can actually bring up an automobile graduate entrepreneurs within 90 days and they are ready for the market, so that we can promote instead of depending on Tokumbo parts every minute. Most of the parts used on the vehicles can actually be remanufactured.
It is a noble initiative setting the right path to developing the automobile industry, but the worries of practitioners like Abiodun Oshokoya is for the sector to be developed beyond assembling and fixing to proper fabrication of locally made vehicles.
When you bring in SKD, the vehicles has been assembled. The only thing that is not there is the engine and the gearbox, maybe the windscreen, front windscreen, the windows, and they come in here, they just put in those ones, and then the vehicle is ready. But if it's, assuming it's CKD, at least we know that more people will be employed because you need to join all the parts.
Nigeria, however, is entrenching policies that will promote the adoption of 100% local content in vehicle production, and government research institutions are taking a huge leap for the actualization. A good instance is the unveiling of an electric car and solar-powered vehicles charging station by the University of Lagos. Although this will augment research and learning, but it is a futuristic innovation looking beyond the fossil fuel era.
It is my prayer that very soon we will launch and mass produce renewable energy powered vehicles, of which innovative Nigerian youth are an integral part of their conceptualization, design and development.
Indeed, there is huge potential in the automobile industry in Nigeria, but stakeholders say utilizing local materials for fabrication and design will translate into meaningful job opportunities and wealth. In Lagos, Michael Alaleye, NTA News.
More than 18,000 mango trees worth millions of naira at the farm of former President Olusegun Obasanjo in Way East local government area of Benue State have been razed by fire. Elias Ichiev reports that 4 suspects have been arrested.
Which is still in its tender stage, measures 139 hectares of special varieties of mangoes. According to eyewitnesses, on the 30th of January, more than half of the farm owned by former President Olusegun Obasanjo was razed by fire, which farm sources estimate at over 18,000 mango plants. They disclosed that this was the second attempt to burn down the farm by persons suspected to be saboteurs of this massive investment.
On the first attempt, we were vigilant enough. It was in the night, around sometime December. It's over 90 hectares.
We engage the highest levels of leadership in this community, traditional leadership of this community, and nobody ever mentioned compensation in any of the discussions that were held. So for us, it's a surprise.
Chairman Guinea East Local Government Council, Emmanuel Otsega, who was at the farm for an on-the-spot assessment of the damage, and the traditional ruler in charge of the local government area, both condemned the act.
I'm in touch with the stakeholders. I'm in touch with all the traditional rulers in the local government. And if it means for us to go and lie down for our former president, who's respected all over the world.
The people that have done that, we have known them, because the community know them. So we are making arrests. Already they have made some arrests.
It is hoped that security agencies and relevant stakeholders ensure that those behind this dastardly act are made to face the full wrath of the law, to give hope to investors and to encourage economic growth and diversification. From Hawaii, Guinea East Local Government Area, Benin State, Elias Itiaf, NTA.
And let's head to Sokoto, where Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol has accepted calls to key into nationwide consultations about his presidential ambition ahead of the 2023 general elections. Tambol made the declaration at the PDP stakeholders meeting in Sokoto.
Governor Tambol's acceptance to begin wider consultations with regard to the 2023 presidential ambition is a long-awaited expectation by the PDP loyalists across the country. Speakers at the meeting highlighted the political attributes and the dynamic leadership qualities of Governor Tambol and expressed the unanimous decision of the PDP family in the state of endorsing him to embark on the process of aspiring for the party's presidential ticket in the 2023 general elections.
The people of Sokoto have accepted that it's time for all Nigerians to accept, even though we know they have already accepted.
Please accept this offer for you to present yourself initially for the consultation, to present yourself for the position and contest the position of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Governor Tambol stated that he concurred with the calls to start nationwide consultations that will enable him decide on whether to go ahead and aspire or not. Tambol noted that the trajectory of his political career has been with democratic astuteness, saying he had never ventured into any political striving without approval of the people of the state and his constituency in particular.
I hereby accept to begin the process of consultation.
Tambol, who spent about 12 years in the National Assembly, Speaker at the 7th Assembly, now in second term as Governor of Sokoto State, came second in the Port Harcourt PDP convention in 2019 presidential primaries. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Remember, you can follow this news broadcast live on our website nta.ng/live and on YouTube channel NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page NTA Network News and our Twitter handle at NTA News Now, Instagram NTA Network for updates. In the next segment of the news, Nigeria's efforts at rehabilitating the Northeast receives international support. This and more when we return.
You 100 million naira up for grabs with your favorite Indomie noodles in the all-new I Love My Indomie promo. Grab an I Love My Indomie promo pack. Look inside the pack for a unique letter and collect all 14 letters, including the special heart, to form I Love My Indomie. Send a picture of your collection to our WhatsApp number to redeem your instant cash prize of 100,000 naira. So hurry and grab your favorite Indomie noodles now. Offer valid in selected cities only till March 31st, 2022. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
How did I get here? It all started shortly after I graduated from MSTC, the Model Skills Training Center, with a certificate in ICT. I successfully developed a data management program that has been called the software of the future. Thanks to its success, everyone wants it, and as you can see, now everyone wants me. But I'm not alone. The skills training programs at MSTC are equipping young Nigerians to become the next big success story. Whether it's ICT, mechatronics, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, or culinary studies, a certificate at MSTC is the way of the future. And just like me, there he is. Everyone will want you to.
ITF, developing the nation's human resource.
Over Femi Martins. Just look at this. Remember the name.
The African Cup of Nations starts on the 9th of January 2022 on NTA, powered by Afrosport. For sponsorship and advertisements, contact us on 090-9890-6913 or 090-3513-283.
Funeral program for His Excellency late Chief Ernest Shonekon, GCFR, CBE, former head of state, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Christian Wake and Night of Tributes. Date Thursday, 3rd February 2022. Time 4 p.m. Venue The Harbour Point Event Center, Wilmot Point, Victoria Island, Lagos. State. Date Friday, 4th February 2022. Time 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Venue Lugard House, number 1 Lugard Avenue, Ikoyi, Lagos. Funeral service. Date Friday, 4th February 2022. Time 11 a.m. Venue The Cathedral Church of Christ, Marina, Lagos. Interment and Parade of Honor. Date Friday, 4th February 2022. Time immediately after the funeral service. Venue The Ebony Vault and Gardens, Ikoyi, Lagos. May his gentle soul rest in peace.
Announcer Boss Mustafa, Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
Thanks for staying. As the Northeast Development Commission continues to expand collaboration for the rebuilding of the Northeast devastated by insurgency, the Belgian government says it has been injecting €5 million annually to contribute to the humanitarian crisis in the area. Belgium Ambassador to Nigeria, Daniel Bertrand, stated this in a meeting with the management of Northeast Development Commission in Abuja. Ilyas Yakubu reports.
The Northeast region has for over a decade been experiencing devastating attacks by insurgency that claimed many lives, with property worth billions of naira lost. As a result of this menace, the region was engulfed by humanitarian crisis which brought about hunger, displacement, and untold hardships on the people. To salvage the situation, the present administration under President Muhammadu Buhari's watch saw the need to establish the Northeast Development Commission with the sole aim of rebuilding, rehabilitation, and resettling displaced persons. Since the establishment of the Commission, it has been extending hands of collaboration to achieve its set objectives. Only recently, the Commission engaged ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as security agencies, to effectively deliver on its mandate. This collaborative meeting between the Commission and the Belgian ambassador to Nigeria is to further solidify the interventions.
I personally visited Borno State twice, and I wanted to better know your organization and to know also what we can do together. Belgium has a very strong interest in developing its bilateral relationship with Nigeria.
We are now trying to fully develop our master plan. We'll be now directly engaging with them to make sure that all the resources required are gotten and channeled to the right sectors.
The Commission promised to further look inwards to those areas that will harmonize effective interventions. In Abuja, Ilyasu Yakubu, NTA News.
The establishment of post-traumatic centers across the country is critical to further enhance the mental well-being of soldiers and their families. The Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association started this while on a courtesy visit to the Army Headquarters, Abuja.
Frequent deployment of troops to troubled areas within and outside the country is a normal routine in the security field. Such deployments are no doubt part of the oath being taken. But the trauma that comes with such exercise as a result of disconnecting one's family for years is the worry of the Military and Police Officers' Wives Association. This visit to the Nigerian Army Headquarters by the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association is to solicit support for the establishment of a post-traumatic center for such officers.
Indeed, majority of us, your wives, can attest to the distinct behavioral traits such as nightmares, anxiety, insomnia, bursts of anger, etc., suffered by our husbands, which are not synonymous with their character before deployment to conflict zones.
We cannot but appreciate and thank you for all your effort, and will urge and encourage you not to relent, but to even continue in that drive. We here will continue to support you in all you do.
The association is working to ensure such centers are established across all geopolitical zones as their own way of giving back to the society. From the Nigerian Army Headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
It is a fact that attaining a literate society reduces the social evils in a nation and brings about development. Now, February 2nd is here. It is World Read Aloud Day, set aside to motivate children, teens and adults to celebrate the power of words. Abdul Malik Hassan reports that the Universal Basic Education Commission (UBEC) is utilizing the day to sensitize peoples on the importance of reading culture.
Few citations from these students show the power of reading culture.
Every morning, Thomas' friends liked his morning growth.
Read aloud, share stories, are food for thought for children and adults.
At the school level, one way we can foster and strengthen reading culture is creating debate clubs.
But despite this display of competence, not everyone knows how to read and write. This informed this sensitization initiative to encourage students and motivate them on the power of reading.
The World Read Aloud Day aims at expanding children's interest in books, vocabularies, comprehension, grammar, and attention, which could be seen as a free vaccine to literacy. Read aloud bring about confidence everywhere, especially as we listen to our kids just now that read. That alone promote confidence in the children.
Today provides us all with the opportunity to introduce alternative ways of reading instruction and to engage learners outside the classroom.
Children were advised to imbibe good reading culture, read aloud, and demonstrate the hidden strength, while parents are encouraged to tell stories or read aloud to their children to help them become better writers and readers. Abdul Malik Hassan, NTA News.
Let's read aloud always. Imagine how you feel when your every move, either in public or private, is being monitored. In today's world where high-tech crimes are committed, this perhaps is one of the many challenges people have to live with. Ebinimi Timiola takes a look at information communication technology and invasion of privacy.
Use of information communication technology has turned the world to a global village.
And ICT stands as that platform that helps and supports professionals, young people. In fact, it is interwoven in our day-to-day activity, and its application is very broad.
In today's world of escalating crime and global terrorism, governments and law enforcement go the length of breaching the barricades of privacy, all in an attempt at protecting its citizens. Millions of people worldwide have their Facebook, email, phone calls, text messages and computer files constantly monitored. In some cases, medical records are monitored as well by employers and companies to decide who should be hired and insured. Others working in financial houses have surveillance cameras monitoring them. Online job seekers who post their resumes also face threats to their privacy.
Most of these platforms will actually give you the opportunity to select what you want to share and what you don't want to share. The challenge usually is people do not get to read all of these things. So sometimes you load up a particular application, you see a place that shows our terms. People don't read it. They just press yes, accept.
The question is, how would you feel working under surveillance?
Depends on what level or what intensity of surveillance that will be. So as long as it's just to be able to put me in check and to make sure that I go according to certain rules, then I'm going to be fine with it. But when it becomes excessive and when it begins to invade into certain areas that I'm not really cool with, and then that's being very extreme.
Experts, however, advise caution and the need for people to pay close attention to terms and conditions while using the internet. People who use the internet are vulnerable to uninvited scrutiny, as there is no online activity that guarantees absolute privacy.
Any of those apps or any of those electronic devices or platform uses your private information which you have not consented to, you can sue them for breach of privacy.
For government, security agencies and organizations to achieve their aim, there is a battle to balance its objective of protecting lives and property and individuals' right to privacy. In Yenogwa, Ebinimi Zitimiola, NTA News.
Time to take our last break for tonight. We'll be right back.
Big as the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations, you can't afford to miss out. So where do you go when you want to have a full AFCON 2021 experience? You go where everybody goes. When you're looking for the vibe, you go straight to the source. So if you want to have it all, go all out for the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations with GoTV. Catch all 52 must-watch games live on SuperSport on GoTV. GoTV, love it.
I know that in the last decade, this country has been at different wars trying to keep the peace and promote the sovereignty and the integrity of the country. The troops are doing their best. The president has given them all the necessary tools. It is left for us as young people and as Nigerians to give them all the support we can. We say kudos to all our gallant military men. Please, whenever you see a police officer in or out of uniform, if you know them, clap for them whenever they need be. Give them seats in buses and trains and airplanes. Have the airline managers reduce air tickets for them or train tickets for them. Show them that we appreciate what they do and show their families that there is something right and honorable and truly remarkable about wearing a uniform and going into the bushes and the forest to fight enemies of this country that are hell-bent in bringing your life to an end. It's a very tough time, but we have to all put our hands together. Please support our troops and support our police officers.
Let's talk sports. The Teranga Lions of Senegal have qualified for the finals of the African Cup of Nations for the second time in a row after a 3-1 victory against the Stallions of Burkina Faso. And to talk more on sports, let's join Samuel Johnson.
Confederation of African Football (CAF) has rejected the request of Ghana Football Association (GFA) to change the venue of the World Cup playoffs against Nigeria's Super